Sunday. It is Sunday, and Sunday is the day for driving. I've had a good run out already. It's 10 o'clock. I've kicked my car's head in for a bit. I've blown off the cobwebs, and I've had some time to think. And that's what it's all about. Having a bit of time to yourself. You know what I do on a Sunday. I drive the FN2 and I take time to digest the week's events. And it's been a great week at Dynodaze. An absolutely fantastic, chock-a-block, mad week. We've mapped some beautiful cars. We've worked on some amazing FN2s. We've corrected some other people's work, which is always a nice feeling, and we've put some smiles on faces. What more can you want? I say it all the time, but I'm blessed to do what I do. One of the big things for me doing what I do is the advice that we give, and it is the support that we try and give our customers. It's the fun that we bring to modifying cars and car ownership. And no matter what car you've got, whether it's a Skoda Fabia VRS or a K20 supercharged EG Civic, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what you've got. We've all got the same passion. We've all got the same. I'm not going to go with beliefs and things like that, but we've all got this link together. We all have this hobby, this pastime, and it's a good one. It's better than spending your money in the pub. And yes, England won 4-0, and that's fantastic, and it's great for the country. But we've got to take time for ourselves and concentrate on ourselves. And when you modify your car, when you do a little something to it, and it might be take an alloy off and clean the inside of it, or it might be turbocharge your EP3, from the very little modifications to the very big ones. From the small, I'm going to spend £1 on purple dust covers, to I'm going to spend 15k and make something that nobody else has got. It's all the same. It's all the same fun. It's all the same belief. It's all the same passion, isn't it? It's passion, and that's what we're talking about. And the best thing about me, the best thing about me. That's not what I meant. The best thing about Dynodaze, the best thing about the job that I've got, is that I can be involved in someone else's passion. I can give a little bit of something. I can make a living, can't I? You know, if I sell an exhaust and it's £20 cheaper than somewhere else, I still make my £20, don't I? So it's all good. I can pay my bills and I can enjoy myself. And someone once said that if you get up in the morning and you want to go to work and you enjoy it, it doesn't even feel like a real job. It's half the battle, enjoying what you do. And I'm so fortunate, don't get me wrong, without you guys, without customers, without the YouTube followers, I ain't got none of that. So I've got to be appreciative, and I've got to thank you, and I've got to say that I love what I do, and I love what you guys bring me. I love the cars, I love the passion. I sat down in the office this week with a customer, and alright, we've got something in common immediately. We've got FN2 Civics, so we're always going to have something to chat about. But the more you go into talking and getting to know someone and making a new friend, you realise it's not just that we've got in common. There's all sorts of little things. There's all sorts of little hobbies and interests. There's passionate things there's things that you were passionate about when you were younger that you can talk about, and all walks of life, no matter what religion or creed or colour, we've all got something in common, and it all starts with the cars. It all starts with the cars, and part of the reason why I think I love some of the the owners clubs that I'm involved in, is that we're all, or we should all, be respectful of each other's projects. So like I said, whether you've got a Skoda Fabia VRS or you've got a Dynodaze 2000, we should all love each other's cars, because we're passionate. We modify our cars for ourselves, and this is something that it took me a little while to learn, that I don't need approval from other people about my build and about my car and about my pastime. If somebody says to me, why haven't you got a spoiler on that Evo? It's because I don't want one. It's because it's my car and I like what I've done to it, and it's not there for seed tax. It's not there to get noticed. It's not there so that someone else pats me on the back and thinks I'm cool. It's there because in my head, it's literally just my car, and I'll do whatever I want. And the same with you guys. You guys can say, I want a twin exit exhaust. You guys can say, oh, I love this Kaizen rocker cover, which are brilliant, by the way, because I've got one. And other people can say, no, I could only possibly ever have a wrinkle red one because that's Honda. And I'll be like, yeah, but I want a green one. And that's the way it is. We all modify our cars for our own tastes and our own likings. And that's part of the passion, and that's where we should all be high-fiving each other and saying, man, you love your car, don't you? Respect. There's modifications that people make that I don't like, but that's irrelevant, isn't it? Because they're not my car. It's not their passion. It's the same passion that I've got for whatever I'm doing, and therefore we've got to respect each other's builds. We've got to, because that's what it's about. That's how we cross over into different people's lives. It's how we form a community. The communities that I'm involved with at the moment are absolutely fantastic. The CZTOC Owners Club for the Colts, man, these Colts are so different. You look at one Colt to the next, and whilst we all know what the best parts are, if we're just going for power, we all know what clutch to put in, we all know what intercooler to fit. But if you've got a different set of wheels, Rich always says a set of wheels makes a car, but your wheel choices aren't going to be the same as my wheel choices. So if Gareth at Expression Culture loves his alloys, loves them, and you don't like them, that doesn't matter. What you are doing is you are following his build because you like the passion that he puts into all of his cars. If you haven't checked out Expression Culture, go and do that now. Go and do that, and drop Gareth a like and a subscription, and I think you'll really enjoy it. I've been watching lots of YouTube this week, all the usual suspects: Cowbunker Car Diaries, Limitations, Modfix, you know, all of them. All of them I've been watching, and there's many others, and I mention them all the time. FN3 Bill's channel, you know, there's loads. AB Express, good channel. I've been watching a lot of Colt stuff as well recently. Sponsored a few Colts, not done that in a long time, so I decided to give that a go. But yeah, there's all these channels that I've been watching, and one in particular that I watched from the get-go. So before I even had a YouTube account, I was watching Jesse Collingham's Honda stuff. And I sat down yesterday to watch some YouTube, and lo and behold, Jesse's only reviewing a car that Richard's mapped. So at Dynodaze, we map loads and loads of EP3 Civics, and I love them all. And I make my little YouTube video, and I think you guys really enjoy the content. But this one was Jesse hooning, and I mean hooning and dropping bombs in an EP3 Civic of Jordan's that we have actually mapped. Seeing his eyes light up when he's driving it, seeing the excitement on his face, listening to the sound of the car, knowing that the flame that's coming out the back of that car is down to Dynodaze, that is something to praise God about. I am so grateful that someone enjoys the stuff that we do. It's a good feeling. It really is a good fear. I'm not going to deny it. It's selfish. I just love seeing other people happy, and I love being involved. And I know from a business point of view, you can't get better than other people going out their way to leave a review and tell you how good it is that you're doing it and a good job. But sometimes the ones for me are when somebody messages you and says, hey man, thanks for that, I've really enjoyed my drive home, and say thanks to the team. And it doesn't take much. It doesn't take much. And you have to remember that generally when someone's happy, they go away, you never hear from them again because they're happy and they've got exactly what they expected and they paid for what they wanted, and they go away happy, and you don't hear from them. Sometimes you get a message 6 o'clock at night, just a little text message, one paragraph saying thanks, and it makes all the difference, and it makes everything you do all day every day worth it. Selling parts for a living is hard business, and you can speak to Kaizen, and you can speak to, you know, Talk GT, and you can speak to any of these companies, TDI North, and they'll tell you the same. Trying to make a living from selling parts is hard work. It really is hard work, because there's always someone out there selling something £5 cheaper. There's always someone out there selling something that's no good, and ultimately, as someone that only sells stuff that they believe in, it's difficult because you don't want to be negative. All you have to do is say, that's not what I'd have bought, I'd have bought this, and that's it, and you've got to leave it at that. There's so many people out there selling utter garbage, and you've got to compete with that, because that utter garbage is £100 cheaper. Being open and honest, there's parts available on the Dynodaze website, and there's a spectrum. There's the cheapest, but I've tried it and it works, and then there's the best, and I can't afford it on my own car, but it's the best. And the difference in price between them can be staggering. It can be staggering. It can be hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of pounds. And there's always a part out there for somebody's budget. There really is. Like on my own FN2 that I'm driving right now, I've got an M2 inlet manifold. It does a job. It actually does a job. It's difficult to fit. It's not something I'd advise you do at home. But that's an honest review of someone who's selling it and saying, yeah, it does do a job, and it's good enough. It's good enough. But it's not the best. It isn't the best. But not everybody's got the same budget. I can't afford, you know, this all singing, all dancing daddy of all inlet manifolds. Can't, because I've got to sell them. I've got to sell stuff and pay bills, and that's just the way it is. But there's modifications again, and we all modify our cars for ourselves. And I think we've all got to, like I say, we've all got to be passionate about it. You look at the communities that I'm talking about right now. There's a little FN2 community, a Honda community on YouTube, and if you watch everybody's videos, we all help each other out. It's something that we've achieved together. We want to raise awareness of everybody's channel together, because we're all friends. We feel like a family, and that's the best way to it. There's plenty of people out there that will just slag everything else off. I know of companies that will just slag every other company off under the sun to get work, and we don't have to do that at Dynodaze. You know, stuff speaks for itself. But if we all help each other out, it's got to be the best way. It's got to be the way of the world. It's got to be the way that. Why don't all countries help each other out? It just makes no sense to me. But it is Sunday. These are the thoughts that go through my head. These are the thoughts that go through my head on a Sunday, because I've actually got time to sit and think, and it's my own noise. It's my own noise in my own head. It's not the noise of a dyno. It's not the noise of a lightsaber being swung around my head because my daughter's training. It's the noise of my brain, of inside it. And you would put the will to rights. Something I'm going to do, and I hope you guys are with me on this. something I'm going to do on these Sunday videos is I'm going to have special guests. I'm going to have other people come in for a drive and a chat. Now, this isn't carpool karaoke. This is men talking about stuff and talking about our week, talking about life. And I think if you remember at the start of lockdown, something I said was that we all need to be able to talk to each other, and we all need to be interacting with each other. And there were people out there during that lockdown that were so lonely, and I'm hoping that they found a little something, a little solace, a little comfort in knowing that there are other people out there feeling the same way. And because they're watching the Dynodaze YouTube channel, they know that they've got something in common with people. And it's why I absolutely implore you I don't know whether that's a word. It's why I absolutely ask you to comment below and tell us what you're doing. Because you might have a billion friends, you might be the most popular guy around, but there's a guy below you in the comments that might only interact with you today. And if you can give a little bit of something, a little bit of time, a couple of minutes, a couple of sentences to someone, that might be the only time that they speak to somebody, but it's something they've got in common. And I think I'd like that to continue, even though we're coming out of lockdown, the country's doing better, England are winning football matches. I'd like to continue that. I'd like to continue this passion and this family and this ethos that we've got going on several different sides. I'd like that to continue. I really would. I think that's the way forward, not just for car communities, but for the world. But that, they are my thoughts. They are my thoughts. Now, this week at work, we've had a chat, me and Richard. We're seeing a lot of comments where the EP3s make more power than the FN2s. It's just the way it is. It's the design. We think that some of it is down to restrictions, and Richard has opted to build this FN2 Civic a 3-inch exhaust system, and it's going to be different. And I know you're thinking, how can it be different to like TDI Norths or solid fabs? How can it be different? Well, we will show you how it's going to be different, and we think we're going to make some power. But the beauty of it is we're going to build it, and we're going to do before and after power runs, and we're going to prove it works, or disprove it and prove ourselves wrong. But that's cool, because that's what the YouTube channel is about. That's what the YouTube video is for. We're either going to make some power or we're not. Exactly like when I bolted up my M2 exhaust. I thought I was going to make some power because I love the quality of it. They didn't. It made nothing, did it? It made zilch. 0 power gains. And the reason was explained to me that the first restriction is what saps the power. So if I had a standard manifold and a standard cap, that's where the power stopped. As soon as I released that power by fitting a Jap Speed 4-to-1 manifold, it released the power for the exhaust as well, because if I'd have fitted a 4-to-1 manifold and D-cap without a catback system, the catback system might have been the restriction and the power would have stopped. But having both matched up, brilliant. So yes, a 3-inch exhaust system. I want to continue modifying this car, but I don't want to just keep doing the same thing that everybody has always done. And the reason for that is there's always a bigger fish. There's always a bigger fish. And this is what I'm talking about modifications for. There are people that are doing things on a budget, and there are people that have got a blank checkbook. And there needs to be the feeling of progression. We had 2 FN2 Civics in the workshop this week. Both I'm classing as the start of the project. Both cars, I've seen what we do on YouTube. I've had it explained to them that we'll make some mid-range gains, and they're like, yep, that's what we want, let's book it in for a map. Now the fun begins. Now the advice begins. I'm already getting questions. How do I make mine flame? Well, you've got to get rid of the cat. So now the relationship starts to build and the project starts to come. And if you've got the budget to do something, brilliant. If you've not, let's move on to something cheaper. Let's get you some more power or make some improvements with your budget. And that's what I want to do. I want to move forward with this car, and I do want to make improvements, but I don't just want to be bolted on stuff that I sell all the time. I'd like to do what Kaizen are doing a little bit of, and doing more research and development. Research and development is build a product, test it, give honest feedback and gains if there are any, or negative ones. Either way, you will be respected. If you build a 4.2 on manifold and it's no better on flow than anything else, say it. Be honest. People would rather do that. If you want to buy inlet manifold from China for £97 and bolt it onto your car and test it, do it. Do it and be honest. People will respect you for it. If people say this is as good as a Skunk 2 inlet manifold, no one will believe you. So test it, prove it, or test it and see it makes 5 brake horsepower max or 2 brake horsepower max, and be honest with it and give people those options. Give people the real information, and that's the way to go forward. That is honestly the way to go forward. I sell a Scorpion exhaust system that's 2.25 inch. And if you're not modifying your car further than fitting a stainless steel exhaust system, that's an absolutely brilliant system. Sounds great, looks great. But if we're talking about flow and we want another 30 brake horsepower of our car, then we need a 2.5 inch system. And it doesn't matter whether it's ting tongue bloody 10-year-old Taiwanese girls that are making these exhaust systems. If they're 2.5 inches, they will do better than a 2.25 inch. I've parked up. So I think that's I think that's my thoughts for the week done. It's been so busy. It's been so busy. I've met some great people. Yeah, and onwards and upwards for next week. Got plenty to do next week. Some early starts, some late finishes, but it's gonna be fine. It's gonna be great. I'm not just trying to convince myself. I know it's going to be awesome. So yeah, so go check Jesse's video out for the white EP3. That's such a good watch. He makes me laugh, that lad. He's so good at what he does. So good at what he does. On par with Cowbug and Cardaris. You know, you can see the passion, and you can see the you can see when someone enjoys what they do, and you can see when someone's confident and, you know, not full of themselves either. That's what I like about all these channels. No one thinks they're the dog's bollocks, do they? I certainly don't. Oh, look, I'm a scruffy old bloke. But, you know, there's people out there that have just got pure class in front of the camera, and he's certainly one of them. So go check him out. There's some cool stuff coming from Jesse. I know this, and perhaps other people don't, but I know what's happening. So it's definitely worth following him. If you haven't, I mean, he's got 59,000 subscribers, and if you're not one of them, make sure you are. Yeah, it's good shit. It really is. I watched Gareth's video yesterday, and he was struggling not to swear all the way through his video. Gareth, less swearing. You know, I'm only kidding, pal. Gareth was sending me photographs in the week, looking out his window at work, looking at his Honda, surrounded by Fords, but he could see his Honda from his window, and he was sending me photographs of it. And he was like, look at it, it's beautiful. I agree, mate. It's a great car. It's a great car. Right, so I think I am going to call this one a day on this video, and thanks for liking and commenting. I would really appreciate your comments. Let me know how your week's been. If you fancy subscribing, do so. That helps me. Thanks for all the support. I've needed it. I felt like I've needed it the last couple of weeks, so thanks for that, everyone. And I'm really looking forward to next week and some more content coming. Thanks for watching the videos. Drop me a. Do you know what? Give me a thumbs up. Give me a thumbs up this week. I don't know whether I've mentioned that before, but I think they help on the YouTube algorithm. I've been doing some live stuff recently, and that's when I've been live and people have been giving thumbs up. It seems to open up the channel to new people. So yeah, please do give me a thumbs up or thumbs down, whatever. It's all the same for the algorithm. Yeah, you know where I am if you need me, guys, even if you just want to talk. And I shall see you on the next one. I've got no one to bounce off, so we will indeed see you on the next video. See you in a bit, guys.
Boy, and I'll say it again. Life moves pretty fast.